Hey y'all, welcome back to Leslie's Mature Makeup and Beauty. Today I got a couple of new products I wanted to give a try to, and I thought I would just do it with y'all. I have got an eyeshadow palette from Hardcandy, the Marilyn Monroe. It just caught my eye in Walmart with the teal back and the pretty little roses on there. I've never tried any eyeshadow from Hardcandy, so I thought I would give this a try, and that's what it looks like on the inside. You get 3 mattes and then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 shimmers, which a couple of these look like maybe they might be a little more satiny than shimmery. But like I said, I've never tried anything from Hardcandy, so I thought we would try this. And then I've got the Dior Powder No Powder. When Sephora did their Beauty for All event, I keep hearing, well, specifically Samantha March talks about this all the time. And I saw a video that she was doing where she was trying a new foundation, and I almost want to say there was a blush as well which probably the blush didn't look great because of the foundation, but she put this powder on over it, and it was just, I hope this isn't too deep. I got the shade 2N, but it just saves the whole look, and I've been wanting to try this, and when they had their VIB sale, I don't spend a lot of money at Sephora, so I'm just like the regular insider, so 10% off was really not that great a deal, but then they did that Beauty for All event, so I thought I would pick this up since I could get 20% off, and thought we'd give it a try and just see if it's that fantastic. But as usual, we're going to start with our eyes. I've already got my eye primer on, and today I used the Urban Decay Anti-Aging Primer Potion. You know, I love my NYX. I just kind of switch between the two. Just want to use up this Urban Decay. I probably won't repurchase it, just, price-wise. There's something from the drugstore that works just as well. But I'm going to start off with this kind of blushy pink shade. They call it a base shade, and it's the name of it's Box Office. Just going to get that on my little fluffy brush, tap it off, and start kind of above my natural crease and down into that crease. We are so close to Christmas. It's always kind of stressful time of the year trying to get all your shopping done, and usually by the time Christmas gets here, I am exhausted. This doesn't seem to have a ton of pigment, but it's a light color, so just work this in here and keep trying to build it a little bit. And I thank y'all so much for all your likes and comments and watching. Our channel is slowly growing here. I think we've hit 90 subscribers. I think we may be 92-ish, somewhere in there, so that's super exciting. When we hit 100, I do want to try to do a little, just do a little something, a little giveaway. So we should hopefully hit that soon. I'm really digging my brush in, but not a ton of, I can see it showing up just barely, but not a ton of color payout. But it is a light colored shade. And I think this was like $6 or $7. I want to say somewhere around 7. It almost looks like it's got a little bit of a sheen to it on the eyes. Okay, so I'm going to leave that there and see. I'm going to go in with this deep kind of burgundy shade called Iconic. We're going to do a little bit of that on my little tiny crease brush. I'm just going to pick up a little bit to start with just in case. And just place that, start down at close to the lash line, and then work it up. Not coming off quite as deep as it looks in the pan. Looking a little patchy. But sometimes this is my eye that gives me fits, so. We'll see. How it looks on the other side as well. I'm going to drag it over just a little, just to try to deepen up my actual crease. We'll do the same thing on the other eye. And start by that lash line, because you know where you first lay your brush down, that's where you're going to get the most pigment from your shadow. It's definitely not coming off on the eye as deep as it looks in the pan. I was actually looking, when I was looking in this little section, it was a primer, and now at this point I can't even remember what the name of the primer was that someone had talked about that I wanted to try. Maybe it was an Impossible primer. Not sure. But they didn't have the primer, but they had this eyeshadow palette that caught my eye, and I love eyeshadow, so I thought I would give it a try. Yeah, definitely. I mean, you can see in the pan how deep that is. It's definitely not coming off quite that deep on the eyes. Let's see if we can build it up a little bit here. So for those of y'all that celebrate Christmas, do y'all stay home Christmas Day? Do y'all get out and do a lot of house hopping to visit different relatives? I used to do a lot of house hopping, but I've decided now that I'm older, I'm done with all that. Since that didn't deepen up quite as dark as I wanted it to, I'm going to take just a little bit of this black shade, see what happens. And I'm just going to take the tiniest amount on this same brush. I cleaned it off on my Sigma switch. And I'm going to place that right at the base of those lashes. Now, a black shade is one of those that it's kind of like a white. You can mix it with things to deepen them up, and you don't necessarily get, I mean, if you really pack it on, you can get, you know, black, but you can also just kind of deepen up the tone of whatever you place it over. These are definitely coming off just a little patchy. I cannot say this is the easiest formula I've worked with. Now that that's darkened up a little bit, it looks a little bit more like this original what I expected that to look like. I'm going to take just a fluffy blending brush and just kind of soften that up a little bit. So far, I'm not really impressed. And there's just a lot of great eyeshadow formulas at the drugstore. You know, Essence, Elf, L'Oreal, ColourPop, which that's not technically at the drugstore. It's just kind of that drugstore price. I mean, that gave us kind of more of a purpley. Yeah, really, when you put it on your hand, it's really more of a gray looking. Now, let's see what these shimmers do. It's just a little bit. You know, the shades don't really. You don't get true to color payout, and they're kind of just a little on the patchy side. So let's do. I think I'm going to take this shade right over here. Girl's Best Friend. I'm just going to use my ring finger. That looks pretty. It's got a little bit of a purpley. Just going to start in the center and put that all over my lid. Yeah, even with my finger, that's not really giving a lot of color. And if any of y'all have any other eyeshadow palettes from Hardcandy that are good, let me know. Because I know sometimes with some drugstore formulas, you know, they have some palettes that are perform better than others. Yeah, that's just not, and it looks, my hands were clean and dry, and it's like it's getting hard pan. Wipe my hands off here, and then I may take that kind of bright white looking shade. It's got a little shimmer in it, and I may put a little bit of that towards the inner corner. But that's just not really doing a lot for me. And I am going to use a brush for this one just so I can get it more just on that inner corner. Yeah, I have kind of bigger hands, so it can be hard sometimes to get something just on the inner corner with my fingers. And that shade applied better with the brush than the other did with my finger. I'm going to try this brush with this other shade and see if it'll pick up any more. Nope. Nothing. Yeah. Not loving it. But we're just going to go with it. I don't recommend. that particular palette anyway. Like I said, that's the only one that I've tried. For foundation, I'm going to go in with my WetnWild tinted hydrator. I haven't used this in a minute. And this is a little bit more of a dewy foundation, so I thought that would be good to see if it will. Now I like this WetnWild tinted hydrator. I think it's good. But usually stuff that has a little bit more of a dewy finish can emphasize my pores. So I thought we would really see if that Dior powder can blur them out. I'm just going to go in with my Stands Out sponge and press this in. And for concealer, well, first I'm going to go in with my Neutrogena color corrector. My caverns are looking a little extra dark today, so I'm just going to take a little dot of that. I may do just a little dot down here as well. Kind of haven't slept the best the last couple of days, so that always makes my dark circles a little darker. I'm going to use my concealer brush to pat that in. And I don't always use color corrector, but on those days when my dark circles are a little bit darker, I like it. And this one from Neutrogena I think is pretty good. I tried several in the little pots that were just a little too drying, because I do have a drier under eye. So this one isn't, it does a good job of kind of canceling out that darkness, but it doesn't make my under eyes look super dry. Then I'm going to go in with my Lancome Tint Idole Ultra Wear Concealer. I hate this doe foot. It's just a little too big for this container, and if I'm not careful, I will fling concealer everywhere. Just going to do some tiny dots. I finally got my hands, well, I don't technically have my hands on the NYX Bear With Me Serum Concealer yet, but it's on its way, so we will definitely be giving it a try on my channel. I'm interested to see, if it works good for my more mature under eyes. As that, I love this Lancome. It works great, but if I could find something at a drugstore price point, that would be even greater. Then I'm going to take my e.l.f. Camo Concealer Sponge, and it's just barely damp, and just make sure that's pressed in good. The old under eyes are looking a little bit rough from the lack of sleep. And we had our grandbaby for my grandson, the older one who's almost 2, we had him for, it was basically like 2 days and a night. And he is busy. And then for some reason he didn't sleep all that great, which usually he sleeps really good here, so I don't know, what was going on with him. Alright. Let's go ahead and do some brows. I'm just going to use my Essence Make Me Brow. Really got to trim these little suckers up since I've been using that Grande Brow serum. They're definitely filling in, but they're also getting a little bit longer. Which, like I said, I think I said before, I'm definitely not mad about it. Just need to give them a little straightening up. And I am compiling a list for like my favorite finds of 2021, so that'll be coming up soon. My list just seems to keep getting bigger and bigger, so we may have to split it up into 2 videos. We'll see. But I'm excited because I have found a lot of good stuff this year. I'm going to go in with my L'Oreal Voluminous Lash Primer. And then I'm going to use the CoverGirl, I think it was the Lash Blast mascara. Is this, no, it's Clump Crusher. It doesn't give as much volume as I like, so I thought the primer might help give me a little more volume. This is a really good, I think, lengthening mascara, and it wears well on me. It doesn't flake or smudge. But it definitely doesn't knock out my Lash Sensational. This one just takes a little more building up to get that, you know, like I said, that volume that I like. Which I haven't had this open all that long, and you know, sometimes as you have a mascara open longer, it either gets even better or it just totally gets crap. As per usual, I've got a mascara spot there. I don't know what it is about this particular spot on my eye. I always get my mascara there. Yeah, that eyeshadow is just not doing it for me. I mean, I like the color, the pinky purple, but it's just not the smoothest looking formula. Alright, so let's give this Dior Powder No Powder a try. I'm looking for blurring. So I'm really taking a close look at my face to see, you know, how those pores and things are looking. So I'm just going to take a big fluffy powder brush. A little swirl. I think the shade's okay. Is it super blurring? I don't know. Has a little bit of a fragrance to it. But it's not overwhelming. Let's see. I'm gonna try my little Beauty Blender Pocket Puff and see if that gives me a little more blurring. Yeah, I think the puff might be the way to go for me. Something on my nose. Yeah, I think the shade is good. Yeah, I think definitely with the puff I got more of a blurred appearance. You know, I didn't put on any primer or anything today. I think it blurred my pores some, but I'm going to have to use this, I think, a couple of times to see, is it really worth $40? And for bronzer, I thought I'd pull out my Physicians Formula Butter I can never say butter bronzer without stumbling. I haven't used this one in a minute. You know, it smells super coconutty. Or I don't think I've used it in a minute. Because it does have a little bit of... It's not luminous per se, but it's not super matte, I don't think. Woo! Might have got a little heavy-handed. I forgot this is a little bit more pigmented than some of my other powder bronzers. That's something that I was noticing. I haven't tried a lot of cream bronzers this past year, so I do want to try some more cream bronzers. I'm going to take my sponge, since I got a little heavy-handed there. Just kind of tap over that to mesh it in good. And then as I was kind of looking through my collection, I found this NYX High Glass Highlighter. And it looks like maybe I've swatched it, but I don't think I've actually used it on my face. So let's give it a try. I'm just going to clean my brushes off, still on my Sigma switch, so that everything is, even though they haven't been freshly washed there. Ooh, that's a little glittery, I think. Let me see. And I did put this on under my blush on purpose. You know, that's supposed to give you that more lit from within type of a glow. And then I also found this little Maybelline Fit Me Blush that I haven't tried yet. This is in the shade Pink Rose. She's bright, but we're going to give her a try too. Just got an angled blush brush. This came in a set from Walmart that I wasn't super impressed with, but this... And I'm just going to go in with a light hand because I'm not sure... how pigmented it is, because I know those Revlon blushes, those have got some oomph to them. Yeah, that highlight is definitely kind of glittery. It is no Essence Pure Nude. But y'all know it's going to be hard for me to beat that, I think. For my highlighter preference. I mean, it's definitely given the sheen, it's just a little bit... It emphasizes my texture a little bit, and it's... You know... It looks like it's got like actual glitter in it. Alright, so now we need some lips. I've got this Maybelline lip liner in 130 Dusty Rose. I thought I had that's that. And then I'm going to use this Revlon Color Sensational Satin Ink. I think I've only used that one time, and I don't remember if I love it. I feel like I liked it. Let me wipe my lips off. I had put a little bit of lip oil on before we got started. It's not giving me Dusty Rose vibes. I feel like that may be why I haven't reached for this all that often. It's pretty pink. And then the Revlon Satin Ink. What shade is this? Why is everything so tiny? It's shade 009 Speak Up. And it's got a little doe foot, but it's kind of pointy. And usually with these kind of liquid lip, you know, that dries down to a more matte finish, the lighter the layer you put on, the better. You know, you want to get just... The more... I find the more I build it up, the kind of chunkier it looks or something. It's definitely pink, but that could have been that lip liner. Because even, you know, on my hand, it doesn't look quite as pink as it does on my lips. I think everything turned out okay. This eyeshadow, like I said, I wouldn't recommend that eyeshadow palette. It's not really the easiest to work with. And then this shimmer shade, you know, my hands were clean and dry, and you can see that has got hard pan, and it didn't really give me much in the shimmer department. I don't know that I would reach for that again, honestly. I mean, I may try it one more time, but it's just a little bit harder to work with than what I would prefer. And the powder, you know, like I said, I'm going to have to give this another try or two, you know, try it with some different foundations and things and see what I think about it. I mean, overall, I think everything is fair, but not my most favorite. But I'll definitely keep y'all updated on the, you know, on the powder. And I guess that's it for today. It's kind of a gross day outside. It's wet and rainy and just blah. You know, usually we go outside, but it's gross. But I thank y'all so much for watching, and thank y'all so much for helping me grow this channel. I'm super excited to hit 100 subscribers. I know that's not a ton compared to what a lot of people have, but you know, you start with 0, so to be almost at 100, I'm super excited, and that's all because of you guys watching and hitting the like button and leaving comments and, you know, recommending me to your friends and that kind of stuff. I really appreciate it. Y'all are the best subscribers in the whole world. Y'all always leave the sweetest, most kind comments, and I really appreciate it. And I will see y'all soon with the next one, and we'll probably start, you know, talking about my 2021 kind of favorite finds. Everything's not going to be brand new because some of the things that I've discovered this year were older releases but just new to me. So I'm looking forward to putting that together and sharing with y'all, you know, some of the goodies I found this year. So thanks again so much for watching and stopping by, and I will see y'all in my next one. Bye, y'all.